So, have you heard of Doctor Who? It's a pretty funny TV show, man. It's about a man or woman who can, like, change faces and that. It sounds pretty funny. It's quite funny. So to fit the funny theme of the TV show, I'm going to be going through a funny Reddit, which is an idea that I've completely nabbed from Danny over on DTDW. Love you, bubs. Don't you think he looks tired? Donald Trump. He's a weird guy. I must admit, he's a weird geezer, isn't he? I wonder who his favourite Doctor is. Probably the first Doctor in Twice Upon a Time. Need I say any more? When you're in a fandom with mostly queer people and nerdy teenage girls, but forget there's a homophobic old man side. I've been like this recently. Doctor Who is very much a, vibrant, campy TV show about aliens and that. I do forget that sometimes there are some people on the other end of the screen who are like, I don't like trans people because a man is a man and a woman, they're a woman, you see. And like science, I'm going to defend it for the rest of my life, even though science doesn't have feelings. And I'm going to ignore the feelings of real human beings to defend my biology book that I got in year 9. It just seems stupid to me, man. Like, well, should just be kinder. Let's all be kinder to everyone, guys. Come on. And you could be kind to me right now by dropping me a like, please. I'd appreciate that big time. Thank you. Well, I wasn't expecting that, but welcome. The Green Party, everyone in the UK right now. The Green Party is taking over. Vote Green, okay? I don't like to put my political views on anybody, right? Do your own research before voting Green. But I just think the Green is the way forward, man. It's the way forward. I want you all to vote Green like it's 2007 and Harold Saxon is running for Prime Minister, okay? Genuinely, the way forward, IMO, IMO. And like I said, I'd never normally push my political views on anybody, but with the way that it's looking like Reform's going to win, anything is better, but Green is definitely the way I would go. Green for the win. God, I'm preachy. I'm turning into a preachy man. RTD2 may have been a misfire, but he still got it. So this is talking about Russell's speech at the BAFTA Cymru, the Wales in Welsh. Cymru. How'd you say it? Cymru. But no, the speech is very good. If you haven't seen Russell's speech at the BAFTA Cymru thing, he was talking about how TV censorship shouldn't exist, whether it's anti-woke or woke, whatever it is, put a trans person on the TV, put anti-trans on TV, whatever. Let's stop censoring television. It's an escape for all kinds. Let's not censor it. It's a brilliant speech. Go and watch it if you haven't already. Like, just search it up. It's brilliant. The RTD is cooked once again. Yeah, I love this man. I love him. RTD2, think what you like, but in my eyes, it's a successful era. It really is. Cave divers when they find a cave with a 0% survival rate, and it's just Matt Smith jumping into it. You always see them cave diving videos. I see them all the time, and it's just like, why would you ever think of doing that? They'll see a cave like that big and think, yeah, just about fit my head through there. I mean, you got to be like some level of just, is it brave or is it stupidity? Like, is it courage or is it just like dumbness? Because you'd never catch me stepping foot in no caves, no way. I'm scared of tight spaces and I'm scared of the dark, and caves seem to fit both of those quite well. Keir Starmer when he sees a UK citizen going online to post Bluey memes without using the proper age verification. And how will you post from beyond the grave? I love that two-parter, man. John Lumick, I actually think is such an underrated villain. They brought the Cybermen back, like, for the first time since the reboot, in the perfect way. And John Lumick was such a good villain to make me believe that the Cybermen were these evil creatures. And I've always had a love for that two-parter. I'm someone who loves Series 2 a lot more than the majority. I love that two-parter, and I love John Lumick. I love John Lumick, man. Absolute bloody legend of the scene. So I've seen this. Apparently Robert Shearman says that Doctor Who is as dead as we've ever known it. No offense, Rob, but what do you know? No, it's a bit horrible, to be fair. I apologise, Rob. I didn't mean that. But, my point is, Doctor Who is in a position that it's never been in before. Okay, even in the Wilderness years, right? At least they knew the show was done. When the Wilderness years came about in 1989, they knew, right, Doctor Who as a programme is finished. For now, it might come back in a couple of decades, and it did, but like now we're in a position where we don't know if it's coming back. They haven't said the show's over, and they haven't said the show's coming back. We are just in a position where we have no idea what is going on. Not even the creators or the higher ups know what's going on with this TV show. I don't agree with Robert in the sense that it's as dead as we've ever known it. It's just in a position that it's never been in before, and I think the best thing to do is ride it out and see what happens in the future. I mean, nobody knows. Literally nobody knows what's going to happen. I think we need to just look forward to the spin-off, and when the spin-off's done, we can all have existential crisis then over the future of the TV show. But for now, it lives on through the spin-off like it was always going to in the original plan. Was reading the World Enough and Time script and found these interesting cut lines. Nardole says, you know what this place smells like? My mum. Nardol's mum. You know, I've never even thought about that, because wasn't Nardole human? Was he human, or was he an alien always? Because he got made into a robot, and then he got made back into a person. I'm a bit lost on what Nardole was always about. I was never too big of a fan of Nardole, but I think it's because I don't like Matt Lucas that much. No offense, Matt, if you're watching, even though you're not watching. Nardol's mum, I'd be interested to see what Nardol's mum would look like, and why she smells so bad. Wonder what it would be. I do absolutely recommend, though, that you go and read the scripts for some of the episodes, because there are some deleted scenes in them that are just incredible. There were actually some Series 7 scripts that got picked up at auction probably about a month ago now, and they got released to the public on Reddit, and I was going to do a video on it, but I never got around to it, but I might genuinely do one. I mean, Harbour Holmes got there before me now, so I'm a bit gutted about that, but I might still do the video, because there's some hidden gems in these scripts that you don't see get made. Speaking of, I hate to flex, but I've actually written an episode for TARDIS Productions. Search TARDIS Productions on YouTube. They got their own little fan series, and I've written episode 6 of the upcoming season 3, which is actually airing right now. So catch up on all the episodes. Why not? I'm on episode 6. It's called The Time Garden. It's brilliant. And I think I can announce this now. I might get shouted at. I am currently writing an episode for series 4 next year. As well, so you know, keep your eyes peeled for that one. Okay, interesting point here. Can we bring back the real unit, please? I was thinking this earlier. I was watching the Sontaran Stratagem and the Poison Sky, and in that, unit felt like unit. Now units sort of become this, like, what Russell wants. You know, someone said it's like Marvel Tower or something, or like something to do with Marvel. Like, Russell loves his Marvel stuff and his superhero stuff, and apparently he just wants unit to become something like that. Whereas I prefer unit like this? Look, listen, when it comes to Doctor Who, I'm all just for a bit of fun. I do think unit is more fun now than it was back then, but unit as an organization, like when I heard unit back in like the David Tennant days, I'd be like, right, this means business. Whereas now it's like every episode you just go to unit to see what Kate Lethbridge-Stewart's opinion is on like shepherd's pie or something, you know what I mean? It's just something stupid like that. Good question. How would you improve the Ncuti Gatwa era? Straight away, focus more on characters than story. Number 1, do that. Focus more on characters than story. Give the characters more depth, right? Episode 2. Point 2. Longer run times or multi-episode serials. So for example, instead of having single part 45 minutes, have 2 parts, 4 stories, for example. Let me make it more clear. In Ncuti series, we have 8 episode seasons. So instead of having 8 individual stories, have 4 individual stories split in 2 parts each to give the episodes more of a slow-paced, you know, we get to know the characters, we get to know their intentions without it being like, right, Ruby, we got goblins, we got babies, maestro, music, Beatles, you know what I mean? Like, it felt too quick. I never had time to sit back and go, I've just seen this, I'm going to take this in, I'm going to digest this now, because it all just was bang, 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 bang. And third and final, less returning monsters, okay? And I'm not against, you know, I do, people always slag off the return of Sutek, and the return of Omega was stupid, I will admit, but the return of Sutek, the return of, like, Susan, people are like, why is this happening? I quite like that. I wouldn't mind that. But I think this whole pantheon of gods, I thought it was going to be new villains. Like, you know, like we did have some like Lux and Maestro, and I would have preferred if, for example, season 1's ending was, you know, a new villain, and season 2's ending was Lux. You know, that was the big villain, the big bad of the series. And they were new villains, because the new Pantheon members I enjoyed a lot more than when they just randomly brought back Sutek or randomly brought back, I don't know, you know, just random stuff. Like the Midnight Entity, for example. I know they did it, and I always defend Russell because he tried a new thing in this new generation we live in, where you have to clip things up to get them to be big on TikTok and Instagram Reels. Getting something like the Midnight Entity to come back, or getting something like Sutek, the destroyer of it all, to come back, it makes sense for those clips. But I would have enjoyed The Well a lot more if it wasn't a sequel to Midnight, and I would have enjoyed Empire of Death if the God of Death was somebody else and not Sutek. I would much have preferred that, and that's me being 100% honest. That's 3 ways I'd improve the Ncuti Gatwa era. I've already touched on this on a video on my channel, but the social media handles in the Series 10 soundtrack announcement stuff, just so funny. Like, sit back and read these if you haven't already. Like, Ludwig van Beethoven from Before the Flood. Wasn't even in Series 10, just funny. These are the people that need to be in charge of more social media posts on the Doctor Who channel, I think. Like, just they nailed it on the head with the quotes from characters and the different characters that they actually used. I think it was perfect stuff. I'm sure this was intentional, but I've never noticed this before. The same master wheeling around 2 different doctors. Yeah, we've got John Sim in 2007 wheeling around a ancient David Tennant, and then we've got an older John Sim in 2017 wheeling around a perfectly fine Peter Capaldi. I genuinely get sad when I think about World Enough and Time, because it was the last episode of Doctor Who I watched where I thought, this is Doctor Who. Like, this is Doctor Who. You know, even Twice Upon a Time was a bit naff. I'm a big advocate for, I would have preferred if Series 10 ended with the Doctor Falls. It was meant to, and then Chibnall was like, I don't want to write a bloody Christmas special, you gotta make a... Look, I get it. It's you got to move forward with the times. And Moffat, as much as I do love him, he did switch up the format a bit. He did very much stick with the whole 12 episodes at 45 minutes thing that Russell set up, whereas that's what changed in the whole Chibnall era and the RTD2 era. He did do the whole, like, you know, no 2-parters, all 2-parters, split seasons, you know, stuff like that did change in the Moffat era, I suppose, but the fundamentals that made Doctor Who the same stayed in that era. And maybe that's why I feel like it was the last time Doctor Who felt like Doctor Who, because that's what Doctor Who was to me. Anyway, right, I'm going to leave it there because it's night time and I need to go to bed. So sorry, I'm a bit low energy, but this is a nice little chilled out video. All right, it's a nice little chilled video. I've actually sorted my DVD collection. There, that's my Doctor Who DVD collection. I've not got all of them. I've got all the way up until Series 10. And then I stopped watching Doctor Who when Jodie came in because I'm a raging misogynist. And then we got my Beneath the Surface, which I love. That was my favourite classic stories as a kid. And I need to replace some of these because that's my Series 1, that big TARDIS there, that's my Series 1 box set. Takes up way too much space. So I went to CEX today and I looked around for some more DVDs and they cost about 40 quid for a box set. So I'm probably going to leave it at that for now, unless anyone wants to gift me the box sets that they no longer use. Anyway, thank you for watching. Leave a super thanks if you want. You can become a member. I'm not posting anything in there at the minute because there's nothing to post. But yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like. I love you all. Bye bye.